Everybody.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we've just started the show. Sorry, just that live took a second to connect from my bootleg closet internet here. So, but I think we are live on Facebook and for the first time on Special Olympics BC's YouTube channel at the same time. So our SuperLive has a super new meaning. So I see that we have some viewers joining us already. Michael from Delta is with us, which is wonderful. Even, hello, we're so glad you can join us. Great, so glad that people are here to chat with us this week in the new Special Olympics BC monthly SuperLive. Okay, I'm going to have a visitor here in a minute, so I'm going to turn over to Jean. Thanks, Jean.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. And as Megan mentioned, this is indeed a super live tonight because it's a first for something. We're trying something new this month, and that is putting us into an evening time slot. So for those of you that tuned in at 2 o'clock this afternoon and realized you were a little early, thanks for coming back with us. So this month we're trying our monthly Super Live, which happens on the first Wednesday of every month in the evening. So we'd love to hear in the chat if this is a better time for you. And if you're joining us for the first time, so glad you can kind of come and be with us today. And again, for the first time, we are live concurrently on YouTube and Facebook. So lots of ways to join us this evening. So just to give an overview of what these sessions are, just a reminder for those that are returning and for those of news and introduction, we do these on a monthly basis, as I mentioned, on the first Wednesday of the month. And they're a chance for us to kind of share what's going on within Special Olympics BC right now, share with you answers to some of the questions we're hearing from you, and also introduce you to some of our guests, which we will meet in just a moment, people involved throughout our organization, and hear from them, get to know them better, and hear about what they are doing to stay healthy and active during these very unique times we're all in right now. So before further ado, I'm just going to move into introductions, but I will just note again, I mentioned, if you want to shout out, tell us where you're from, what you think of what we're doing, anything you're excited about that we share with you on the show, please jot that down in the chat because it's great for us to hear feedback, and periodically we'll be taking breaks and sharing some of the messages that you share with us. Okay, so let's move on to meeting who is on the screen. So first of all, I will introduce you to my co-host, Marinka VanHage, who is a Prince George athlete, a very accomplished Prince George athlete. Marinka has actually competed at 2 World Games, one in 10-pin bowling and one in snowshoeing. As well, she is a member of the Prince George Sports Hall of Fame. That's an incredible accomplishment. And when she's not doing sports, she somehow found time to become a trained athlete speaker and a health hero. So Marinka and I are going to co-host this show today. So we'll be asking questions of our guests. So you'll be hearing a lot more from Marinka as we move on. So next, I'd like to introduce you to Randy Smallwood. Very excited to have Randy on the show today. Randy is the Vice Chair of Special Olympics BC. He's also the President and CEO of Wheaton Precious Metals, a longtime provincial sponsor, and Wheaton Precious Metals is also a member of the Special Olympics BC Hall of Fame. And believe me, it's not easy to get into that Hall of Fame. So that signifies how much we have appreciated their support. In addition, they are the presenting sponsor for the Sports Celebrities Festival for 14 years. That is a long time. And during that time, listen to this, they have helped raise more than $5.5 million for Special Olympics BC and the Canucks for Kids Fund. So Randy, sincere welcome. And Randy's going to be sharing a lot more with us about the Sports Celebrity Festival on the show. And now, last but definitely not least, we have Matthew Hender, a Quesnel BC athlete. Matthew is a very active athlete and a pretty fierce competitor. Matthew, I have seen you compete, and believe me, you don't leave anything out there on the field. It's incredible. And Matthew has also completed the Health Messenger training with Special Olympics North America. And tonight he is going to be sharing with us a presentation that he's prepared as part of that training. So welcome to everybody. Welcome to all of you tuning in. We are thrilled to be able to spend this part of your evening with you. So before we move into kind of getting to know our guests a little bit, I just want to give you a few teasers of some things that are happening within Special Olympics BC tonight that you're going to hear more about on the show today. So if something sparks your interest, make sure you don't tune off till the very end. So first of all is the Virtual Sports Celebrities Festival presented by Wheaton Precious Metals. This is now underway, kicked off on November 3rd, and it's going to go right through till November 10th and raise funds and awareness for Special Olympics BC and the Canucks for Kids Funds. So we're going to be hearing a lot more about that and how you can get involved on tonight's show. As well, you know, athletes, coaches, volunteers, everyone is working tirelessly on return to sport. And we're so excited to share with you tonight about some of the next steps. We're looking at doing that as we expand that in the province. Lots of exciting sport and health initiatives, so much you can get involved in right now. And we'll give you some little ways to get involved in that and some tips on where to find that information tonight. And I bet you didn't know this because I didn't know it till Megan told me, is that this month marks 40 years of Special Olympics movement in BC. 40 years, that's a long time, 4 decades. And we'll be sharing with you a little bit of info about a birthday celebration coming up later this month, later in the show, so stick around for that. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to ask some questions, put these guys, get to know them a little bit more. So I'm going to pose a question, and then I'll just kind of ask various guests if they feel they would like to answer it. If anybody doesn't feel like they want to answer a question, no problem, just say pass, and we'll catch you on the next round. Okay, so question number 1. How many years have you been part of Special Olympics, and how did you get involved? How about we start with my co-host, Marinka?
8 years. When I started in 8 years.
And how did you get involved, Marinka?
My mom and my dad put me in.
Were you glad they did?
Yep.
Yeah. So 8 years old you started?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So that was, I think I know that's probably, you've been involved for over 20 years then.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. So how about you, Matthew? How long have you been involved and how did you get involved?
I think I get started in 2016, so about 4 years. I had taken a small interest in curling, and there just weren't many groups to do it for people my age. So we heard of that Special Olympics was doing it. So that's when I started, and I also liked basketball. So my BI helped me build up the confidence to go there and try it out.
So curling was your first sport?
And I joined.
That's cool. Well, 2016, yeah. So you've already been involved for 4 years. That's a good chunk of time. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing that. And how about you, Randy? How long have you been involved? I know we heard about the sponsorship for 14 years, but what about you personally?
Yeah, no, it's I came to one of the original Sports Celebrities festivals and was really impressed with the program, and so I decided to get more involved. And we started off by becoming the sponsor for the event, and that was 14 years ago, becoming the lead sponsor for the event. And I still wanted more myself personally, and so I joined the board. I think probably just about 12 years ago, and I've been active on the board ever since. It's a great program. It's a great organization, and loving every minute of it.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, I think the loving every minute of it would very much be applied to everybody on this screen tonight and probably on the call too, because I think once you get involved in this organization, you tend to stick around because it's a pretty special place to be. Well, thank you all. We look forward to talking with you continually through the show. Okay, Megan, let's check back with you. How about any things that people are sharing on our viewership tonight?
Yeah, we've got some wonderful participation from around the province, and shout out to our visitor from Calgary as well. Hello, thanks for joining us. So cool to see the Special Olympics community coming together in all kinds of different ways through these unusual times. But yeah, again, hi to Michael from Delta and Avon from Ladysmith, Sandra from Richmond. So glad you could be with us. Angela from Penticton, and Angela, you mentioned you have a question, so please go ahead and fire that away in the comments. We'd love to hear what you're up to and what you'd like to talk about. Claire from Creston, hello. Ashley from Burnaby. Michael, I am super happy to see you too. Thank you so much for joining us again on the show. Chelsea from Delta, so glad you're here. Jake from Trail. Roy from Kelowna. Sorry, I'm not keeping pace with my hand to my mouth. This always happens. One of them moves faster than the other. Dominic from Burnaby, great that you're here. Thank you so much. Annabelle Stanley, one of our amazing cross-country ski coaches from Kelowna and new Canadian citizen. So we're so lucky and so glad to have Annabelle, and Special Olympics is so lucky and glad to have Annabelle. Sarah from Nanaimo, so glad you're here. Angela, thank you for your kind words. That's very, very thoughtful. Let's see, lots of chat and lots of conversations happening between each other. Lots of people cheering for 40 years of Special Olympics in BC. Definitely so, amazing that this community has been growing and thriving for so long, and keeping growing, and yet have so many people who've been involved for 30, 40 years themselves. We're an incredibly lucky movement. We have amazing new people and amazing veterans who've been giving their time and heart and energy for such a long time. Dominic from Burnaby shared he's been in Special Olympics since 2001, which is super cool. Anne shared a story about that you were 18 when you first heard of it. Oh, and Bob Bratton was your first coach. Cool. Saw potential in you. And you're still involved in swimming. And Angela's also competed in the national games for swimming. She was in Vancouver in 2014. I got to watch her race, and she was awesome. Richard, who is joining us from Calgary, has been in Special Olympics Calgary for 18 years, which is super cool. Hello to Tyler. Hello to Riley from Kamloops. Lots of great questions and comments. So I'm going to keep pulling them up on screen, and lots of great conversations happening. You guys keep chatting with each other. I'll keep putting comments up on screen, but I feel like I could keep talking forever with all of you guys. Jean, I'll pass it back to you to keep going with their,
okay, we have an active audience tonight. This is cool. Oh my gosh. I know we've got the physical distancing, so we don't get to see each other in person, but every time I do these, I just feel like this isn't a big event. This is a big deal. I get to spend this time with so many people together. Even if it's on the screen, it sure means a lot. Okay, so we've talked to you. You can kind of see there's a theme of sports celebrity festival, sports celebrity going through this this show tonight. So for those of you that have watched before, you know that also often we have trivia questions, and this show is no different. So this show's theme for the trivia questions is going to be about sports celebrities from BC, and they are not easy. So get ready to really think these through. I must admit, I had to look up several of them to try and figure out the answers. So I'm going to ask you a question. You can put your answers in the chat, and Megan will kind of keep track on that. And then we'll have a little more, we'll visit with our guests a little bit more, and then we'll take a break in a bit and we'll give you the answer. Okay. All right. Ready? Here's question number 1. Who was the first Special Olympics athlete inducted into the Special Olympics BC Hall of Fame? The very first one. Okay. We'll leave that with you. All right. So now we are going to move over to Marinka and myself interviewing Randy Smallwood, because we want to learn more about the Sports Celebrity Festival and what it's going to look like this year. So Randy, you ready for some questions?
Bring them on.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm going to go with question number 1, and then Marinka's going to ask you a follow-up one after this one. So for the first one, we know that the Sports Celebrity Festival is virtual this year. What does this mean?
Well, Jean, this event is traditionally an in-person gala here in Vancouver, but as so many of the things, we can't get together in person this year. But we still wanted to support Special Olympics BC and the Canucks for Kids Fund. So we've moved all of the major things that we do at the Sports Celebrities Festival online. So as mentioned earlier on, starting yesterday and through until November the 10th, we have several fundraising events happening online in which anyone can participate. And on November the 10th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we are having a live online show to wrap everything up. Everybody can watch. It'll be here on Special Olympics BC's Facebook page and the YouTube account. Or you can also watch on www.scf for special or for Sports Celebrity Festival, scfgala.com. We'll have several Vancouver Canucks players on for a hot stove chat, as well as comedy from Brent Butt. He's a regular. He's come out on just about every year. And then remarks from other sports celebrities from Vancouver and across the province. And although it's sad that we can't get together in person to celebrate our athletes, there is an advantage, as you've already mentioned. It is exciting that everyone around the province can now watch the live show this year. These are the kinds of entertainment that we traditionally have in the in-person gala. And so it's exciting that that wider audience gets to experience the whole event this year. So everyone can register in advance to get special emails and get the link to watch the show. Or you can just go to www.scfgala.com on the night of to find the show. So for everyone watching tonight, can you please let us know in the comments if you have already registered?
That's awesome. And, when I first heard about this, that was initially my reaction, because every year I see pictures from the gala, from the Sports Celebrity Festival, and I haven't attended in person. And this year I'm like, wow, I get to actually go. I was super, super excited about that. So I think that's a huge bonus, because we'll be able, people across the province and either outside of the province will be able to join and provide that support. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing to bring that to all of us.
The more the merrier. Tell all your friends. Let's get everyone.
All right, will do. Will do. That's awesome. Okay, so Marinka, I think you have a question for Randy now, don't you?
Yes. What are the online fundraising event?
Well, Marinka, if you go to www.scfgala.com, you'll see that we have an online silent auction, and there's lots of exciting items. There's, I think, hundreds. I was going down through the list today. There is a lot of items on there, and there's some pretty exciting ones. Like there's a 100-ounce silver bar that was donated by my company, by Wheaton Precious Metals, and we've even got a very unique 2 troy ounces of gold in a nugget that's going to be in the auction this year. In fact, I even brought it to show everyone. You can see here, and it looks really big when I put it close to the screen, of course, but it's 2 ounces of gold. It's a beautiful piece of gold, and that's going up for auction too. The Canucks for Kids Fund there's a 50-50 raffle that's going on, and it's going to benefit Special Olympics BC. We also have a watch raffle, donated by a watch, a beautiful, and I'm going to try and say this Italian name, Parmigiani Tonda Metro.
Whoa, that's impressive. That's impressive.
It's a beautiful watch. It's donated by Palladio Jewelers. And of course, we've got raffle tickets on for sale for that. It is a stunning watch. We also have space on the website for Fund to Need donations that will go directly to both the charities, Special Olympics and Canucks for Kids. And in the live show at 7 p.m. next Tuesday, we will be talking about all of these opportunities, and we'll be drawing all the lucky raffle winners, the 50-50 and the watch and everyone. So it's just make sure you tell everyone you know so that they can support it and help spread the word. Again, the more the merrier. So visit scfgala.com for all the details.
Oh, that is fantastic. And I guess, Megan, all of that information is available on the Special Olympics BC website too?
That's also true.
Yes.
Yep. On the homepage, there's an article about the SCF, but as Randy said, we do have the website the website for the SCF itself right up on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You can link to it directly from both ways of getting in. But I love the way SCF Gala, I can remember that one. And I don't remember websites easily. So if I can remember it, we're in good hands here. So thanks for asking that, Marinka.
Just follow the gold nugget all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, something.
No kidding. Thanks for asking that, Marinka. That was a great question. Okay, I have one more question for you, Randy. This is going to kind of get you. You're going to have to select something now. So what is your favorite part of the Sports Celebrities Festival?
Well, Brent Butt is a personal favorite of mine. He keeps on coming out, and somehow he comes up with new jokes every year, and so he does a great job entertaining. So I encourage everyone to make sure they catch his show. But in reality, it's the parade of athletes. It's watching all these Special Olympians come down with the athletes and all the athletes together coming down. It is by far it's a very powerful experience, and even the little dance moves that everyone does at the top of the stage as they're coming in, it's great to see.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I've got it booked November 10th, 7 p.m. in my calendar. So, well, everybody watching, make sure you write that down too and plan to participate in that.
Hope to see you
Okay.
all.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, what was that, Randy?
I said I hope to see everyone there.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be there. All right. So, Megan, any more comments coming in on the chat there?
Lots of comments, but we don't have an answer yet for who was the first athlete inducted into the SOBC Hall of Fame. Tyler had a very interesting answer, which was Jackie Barrett. Now, Jackie Barrett is a very accomplished East Coast Special Olympics athlete he's a power lifter and a world record holding power lifter, and he was recently inducted into the National Sports Hall of Fame, like Canada's overall Sports Hall of Fame. He's the first Special Olympics athlete to do so. So that was a cool answer, Tyler. Thank you. But it wasn't the answer to our trivia question. So we'll give a couple more minutes just in case anybody has a brainwave. Think Kelowna, guys. Think Kelowna.
Yep, from Kelowna. And it is a female.
Yeah.
There's another hand.
And athletics, all around achiever.
Yeah.
So,
do any of the guests on the show know who that is?
Oh, there, Roy got it. Roy, I was waiting on you. Okay, Tracy Malesko is the answer. That's correct, Roy. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, so Roy trains alongside Tracy. She's incredibly accomplished and active even today, mentoring other athletes, but she also had a long and significant athletics career prior to transitioning into cross-country skiing, where she's now very successful and most recently competed in the 2020 National Games alongside Roy. So awesome. So yeah, lots of great comments as well from individuals who've been sharing how they got started in Special Olympics through hearing about it through different people. So thank you, Ashley, for sharing that. And Malik, who's been in Special Olympics since 2013. That's very cool. Michael sharing how you got started in skiing and moved into bowling and got into track and have lots of goals in games. So way to go, Michael. Keep up the great work. Hello to David from Dawson Creek, who's joined. Very exciting to have you with us. Brent from Langley, glad you're with us. Certainly we miss our sports as well. I know it's been tough on everybody having the pause in programs, but it's amazing to see how hard everybody's working in return to sport programs, which Marinka and Matthew are going to be able to talk a bit more about with us, which is great. So slowly and steadily, we're safely working on returning to sports. And in the meantime, thank you all so much for staying connected through ways like this, coming out to chat with us tonight. So Jean, I will pass it back to you for our next round of trivia and moving on.
Okay, well, I'm gonna this one I didn't know, and so I'm gonna turn this over to Marinka to ask this next question. So listen up, everybody.
How many seasons did the legendary Henrik Sedin and Daniel Sedin play for Vancouver Canucks?
Okay, so another question, and Megan will probably pop that up on the screen at some point too, to just remind you what you're trying to answer there. But another one to dip all you Canucks fans out there. Let's see, I know somebody's going to get this one. That's my guess. Okay, so thanks, Marinka. That was a great question, and I did not know the answer when we tried that one out yesterday, but I do now. So, but I won't let it out of the bag yet. Okay, so moving on, we're going to do a couple more round table questions, get know our guests a little bit better. So the next question, and maybe Randy, I'll get you to answer this one first if you're okay with that. So what sports are you involved in, either, current or past, and did you have a favorite and why?
When I was young, which was many, many centuries ago, or decades ago, I should say, not centuries, but decades at least. Soccer was my sport. But as I got older, I got into skiing, and I absolutely love skiing. I ski as much as I can. Of course, you can only ski in the wintertime here in Vancouver and BC. But yeah, I spend as much time skiing as I can.
Oh, that's awesome. So is alpine downhill skiing? Is that what you do?
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, the snow is coming. I have a feeling it's raining buckets here in Victoria right now. So it's got to be snow somewhere. Yeah. How about you, Matthew? What sports are you involved in? And do you have a favorite?
I'm probably gonna leave some out. Track and field, soccer, basketball, curling, club fit, golf. Maybe there's another one, but my favorite's probably track or basketball.
That's cool. So that's neat. You got a favorite that's a team sport and a favorite that's an individual sport. I like that. That's great. Yeah, I was running out of fingers there as I was counting what you were saying. So incredible. Okay, Marinka, you're up. How about you? What sports are you involved in? And you don't need to remember them all either, because I know you got a long list too.
I'm in 12 different kind of sports.
Okay, can you name some of them? Because that's a lot.
I'm in curling, basketball, swimming, powerlifting, golf, soccer, gymnastics, track and field, ball hockey.
It's like for both you and Matthew, I could have asked the questions of what sports do you not do? And you would have just been able to have a very short list for that one. So Marinka, I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. Do you have a favorite or one or two favorites?
No, I don't have any favorites.
That's allowed. That's allowed. Probably some weeks it's different changes from week to week. That's super cool. Okay, so Marinka, I think you have a question for Matthew and Randy. Why don't we Matthew, you will let you answer this one first after Marinka answers it, or asks it rather.
Of your favorite Special Olympics memories?
Definitely going to Winter Games for BC. I think that was it 2018? Yeah. We had a really good coach and a really good team, and it was lots of fun. It was my first trip without my parents, or I think it was my first trip too. So
that's awesome. And what sport were you there for, Matthew?
That was basketball.
For basketball.
Yeah, I was really hesitant to do it, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, Special Olympics really does give you opportunities to take on challenges you weren't quite sure if you'd be able to do, but congratulations for taking that one on. That's fantastic. Those were good games. Those were really good games. Okay, so I think who would be next to answer that one? If Matthew, who else do we want to answer that one, Marinka?
Randy?
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go out to Corner Brook, Newfoundland for the Canada Winter Games and watch the BC athletes outperform, did very well. My favorite sport to watch, of course, was the alpine skiing, but really impressed with curling and hockey and the ball hockey, and it was just and the medal ceremonies. The whole event was just memorable, very memorable.
Mm-hmm. That was a great games. Games. Now, Marinka, I know you asked the question, but I know you also have some answers for this one. So I'll put this one back to you. What is a Special Olympics memory you might like to share?
When I went to Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. That would have been for World Games.
Yeah.
And what was special about that experience?
They have potatoes, and then we got like a potato man stuffing.
So Boise is known for potatoes. I think about Idaho and potatoes. Okay. Was the sport good too, though?
Yeah, because it was
snowshoeing. Yeah. Was that snowshoeing? That's one? Yeah. Very cool. Oh, those are great memories. All right. So I'm going to...
Can I burst in? Because Angela asked a really interesting question, as she just was, most memorable moment you each remember as an athlete or coach. I think so. We covered some of these, but any other sort of on-field athletic memories that you guys have, like in terms of like Marinka, do you remember how you felt when you crossed the finish line in Boise, and any athletic memories?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
You were dreaming of potatoes.
No. Just happy.
Happy is a good memory when you picture that. So Matthew, can you think what it feels like when you sink that basket under pressure? How does that feel?
That was probably the hardest part, the free throws.
Oh yeah.
Because I wasn't very good at them back then, and they're way harder in a game. But luckily, we had one guy from Prince George who he barely missed any free throws, and that won us the game at one point. It was the difference of a win and a loss.
Wow. So being in that pressure situation and then coming out of it, pretty cool to be part of a team like that.
Yes.
And Angela said that one's for all of you. So Randy and Jean, any favorite athletic moments as an athlete or coach?
Well, I mean, I haven't competed as an athlete in these events, but I can tell you the medal ceremonies and just the sense of accomplishment. And you could see how hard everyone had worked. And so, when you're at the Canada Winter Games and you're for several of the nights, I was actually handing out some of the medals to the winners of the different levels, and just the sense of accomplishment and pride that they all had. And sort of, all the effort that they put into that, it really stood out. It just made it such a special event.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I think, I kind of share a little bit what Matthew is that way. I guess Matthew is sharing is that, most of the memories I can think of, different examples, are when you see somebody take on a challenge they didn't think they could do, and they succeed. And it's just because they become so determined to make it work. And you see someone get their personal best. I've mostly been a track coach and just think there's no way I could run that distance or no way I could run that fast. And they do it. And you just have to turn around because, you can't quite show quite that much emotion, but you just have so much. You're so proud, so proud. But how about you, Megan?
There have been a lot of favorite moments over the years, but I think just one that still comes back to me is being at the finish line, actually, at the cross-country skiers at my first Special Olympics Canada Winter Games 2012 in St. Albert, and watching the way our BC coaches cheered every one of all the athletes, but especially embracing our BC athletes as they came across the finish line, and they were so proud, and the athletes were so proud. They'd worked so hard and achieved so much there, and so just the really special relationships that I'm privileged to get to see develop between Special Olympics coaches and athletes. You guys all do amazing things together, and you inspire me to be working hard and getting better all the time. So that, as you said, Gina, I had to have a little cry there. Pictures in the snow at the finish line it's really difficult. You guys make my life really hard sometimes.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's cool to have that. Thanks for that question, the person that posted that question, because I'm now thinking up about a lot of different memories now that are going to, start rolling through my head throughout the evening. So thanks for bringing up so many amazing things back into my head that I hadn't thought about for a while. So great comment there. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of memories in the past, but now we're kind of come back to some new memories that people are creating in the future, in the current present, we're pretty in these unique times right now. So one of the things that both Matthew and Marinka have been involved in is they have been athletes that have been and are currently part of our return to sport programs. So I just wanted to kind of ask them both individually how they're finding returning to sport, if they find anything different and what they're experiencing. So Marinka, can I start with you? What sport have you started this year and how are you finding that?
I started in swimming.
So you started swimming?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's it like?
It's kind of different.
Okay, and what are some of the differences you're noticing?
Because it's only 8 people, and then you have to get into the swimming pool. And then,
so smaller numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing though, I'll ask you: is it? Are you enjoying it? Are you still getting to train hard?
Yep.
Your coach is still pushing you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the important stuff is still there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're working hard and your coaches are working hard, but that's a good point that our programs now are having to be smaller because we're having to be more physical distances and the facilities have less people in them, but they are starting. And Marinka's an example where in Prince George, they've gotten back to swimming. So how about you, Matthew? What sports have you gone back to and how have you found that?
So we started with the track was our first one, and I was part of the original group of 8. And it was different because we like to have fun, and we got a lot of younger athletes, so there's lots of playing around, but we couldn't do a lot of that because we can't be within 2 meters. So it took people some getting used to, but I think we eventually got good at it and got used to it. And we focused a lot more on specifically long jump, which I'm happy with because that's my favorite event. But yeah, it was a lot of fun focusing solely on a few smaller things instead of like 10 minutes at each field event.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's, you know what, that you raise a really good point. I'm glad you used that example, Matthew, because that is another thing with return sport is it's allowing us to really focus back on some of those really focused skills. And I can say that we recently had a, excuse me, virtual competition in which Matthew competed in long jump. And I swear you flew. When I saw that distance you did, I had to relook at it again because it was amazing, really. So your hard work on that event is certainly paying off. So congratulations on that for sure. That's cool, really cool. All right, so let's go back to Megan and we'll check in, and then we're going to log in on that back to that trivia question. So if anybody hasn't put their answer in, jot it in there now.
Oh, and so we already had a winner. Roy Stevens was right in there. So Roy is 2 for 2 in trivia.
Man.
Yes. Roy knew that Roy was the first to respond with the correct answer that the Sedins played 18 years, their entire careers, 18 seasons, for the Vancouver Canucks. So quite the legendary players. And we had the privilege of having them at the Sports Celebrities Festival numerous times. And they've always been so gracious with their athletes and so supportive of Special Olympics. So we're really fortunate to have seen them in action for sure. So thank you, Roy, for the first correct answer, but also shout out to Tyler, who responded 18 seasons several times. So I see you, Tyler. You were right, but you were second. So congratulations and thank you for your correct answer. Wonderful memories are being shared from everybody in the comments. So thank you so much for your insights on how you've all gotten involved with Special Olympics. I'll keep bringing them up on screen as we go along here, but great to see some of our friends from Kelowna, Langley, Carrie from Oceanside, lots of our friends checking in from around the province. So I will pass it back to Eugene for our next trivia question.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to give you trivia question number 3. Okay, ready to type this in because it sounds like there's some people pretty quick on the draw here. Okay, so who is the all-time leader in match appearances for the Vancouver Whitecaps /86ers? Okay, so there you go. I'll leave that in your capable hands. Okay, so we're now going to move on to a very special segment of the show in which, as I mentioned earlier, Matthew has done health messenger training with Special Olympics North America. So these opportunities are open to athletes involved across North America, and Matthew, very proud to have been selected as one of the people to be involved in this program. So Matthew has prepared a presentation, and I am just going to turn it over to you, Matthew, and let you lead the way. Thank you so much for doing this. So I think Megan is going to pull up the PowerPoint for you to be able to
dial up the PowerPoint here.
All right.
Sorry. I didn't realize that was my cue.
Sorry.
Okay, now comes the crazy part where we dip into the universe and okay. Sorry. And Annabelle mentioned we have a bit of feedback on the line, so sorry. We'll try to get that going. better soon? Okay, whoops, sorry, Matthew. Okay, here we are.
All right, off to you, Matthew.
Okay, so I called this presentation, I called this workout No Pain, No Gain, because it is very beneficial to your endurance and muscles, but it's difficult to get through, which is why it's very detailed for what to do, and hopefully it'll motivate you. So we can get started. So this is a warm-up part 1. So start off, do just some wide arm circles, 12 and 2 for each single arm moving forward. So 2 for the left, 2 for the right, and then you do the same thing backwards, 2 and 2, and then you do both arms at the same time, like the lady's doing in the picture. And the most important thing to remember with this is to keep your arms straight. Right when you bend the elbows, you lose part of the stretch. The stretch should be felt in mostly your shoulders, and maybe a bit of your chest and your back. And you can do it slowly so you can feel the stretch. You don't want to do it too fast and hurt yourself, because we're just starting with the warm-up. So once you've done that, I call it exaggerated posture. Couldn't think of a better name, but you kind of just move your shoulders, exaggerate the posture. So forward, back, up, and then far down. And do each of those for 12 seconds each. And then do a few circles, so then just loosen up your shoulders a bit. So those are the first 2. And lunges, they're pretty straightforward. So we do 6, hold for 6 seconds, 3 on each side. So yeah, you kind of you lunge forward, and your back toe should be on the ground, like that guy. And your knee should either be touching the ground or almost touching the ground. And you should, and just you walk across the floor with that, or you can do it staying in one spot and just change legs. So then, after you're done that, walking toe touches. So you kind of just walk forward and lift your leg up like that guy's doing. It's okay if you don't lift it that high. That guy's very flexible. You try to touch your toe. I have very long legs, so I have to bend them a bit. But it still gets the stretch in if you bend them, unlike with the arm circles. Should feel it in your underleg. So then tightening arm circles. It's you start off as the same with the 2-handed arm circles before, but you slowly tighten them and make the circles smaller. And as they get smaller, they get faster too. So eventually you'll be like that guy and just moving your arms fast in a small circle until they go into a standstill. And so that should take about 15 seconds. And by the time that time's up, then the circle should be to a standstill. And right, I forgot to say, for these warm-ups, it doesn't matter too much how long a break you take in between, because these are mostly warming up the muscles. It's not too strict for timing, but try to not wait around. Try to get them all done relatively fast. So then next is the meditation stance. You can sit there for 20 seconds. It shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be trying to hold yourself up with your muscles. You kind of just rest there to where it's comfortable. And I like to close my eyes because it's a lot harder to balance when you close your eyes. And hold your arms forward like you're meditating. Yeah, it's a good one for keeping your focus. So next slide, please. And the second part of the warm-up, which is a bit faster now. So I couldn't find any pictures of this for some reason, but if you watch any football movie or you've been on a football team, you've probably done it. I call it light on. So you're kind of just running in place quickly and tapping your toes on the ground. And this is just kind of a transition thing to keep you moving. So every time I say it, we do it for 6 seconds. So we start with 6 seconds on that, and then we go to high knees for 12 seconds. And I don't put my hands there because I just hold them to the side. And the most important part is just to raise your legs as high as you can comfortably without hurting yourself, feeling any pain. And you do it fast. This whole thing is fast now. You don't take breaks in between. So next slide. Then light on your feet again for 6 seconds. And then butt kicks, it's pretty much just the opposite of high knees. You just kind of kick back, and if you're really flexible, the bottom of your shoe would be kicking your butt, but it's okay if you're not quite there, as long as you're feeling the stretch. And keep it on your toes, keep doing it fast. And next. So then back to lay on your feet, and then we do tuck jumps for 12 seconds. I like to put my arms under my legs when I do the jump, just to make sure my legs are coming high enough. But it's pretty straightforward. You just jump and tuck in the air like that. And you keep doing that for 12 seconds as fast as you can. And then we finish with light on your feet. Light on your feet, full speed. So light on your feet before, you're doing it relatively fast, but it's really tiring once you're doing it as fast as you can. So you go as fast as you can, full speed for 6 seconds, and then that's finished with the warm-up part 2. So abs, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is abs, they only get better when you work them. They're not going to develop too well on their own. You're not going to get a six-pack just from growing. Unlike your arms that grow, not the same. So you've got to do ab workouts. Next slide.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try to cheat like that guy. Plank for 60 seconds. Plank is probably the best exercise you can do for the whole body. 60 seconds or longer, it's okay if you don't make it to 60 seconds, but never have a doubt in your mind that I'm just gonna aim for 40 or 30. Always try to aim for 60, because then you're only gonna give up when your body does. Once you collapse, and that's good. That's what we want. A plank is only useful once you get to that breaking point. So yeah, you can do it longer if you're a hardcore planker. I'm not really. So then go to a 90-second rest, because planks are they're exhausting afterwards, and you feel really good actually when you just lie there after a plank. So enjoy that. And moving on. So for all the ones I'm talking about, 10-second rest between each set. So twisting sit-ups, it's just a sit-up, but you don't have to twist too much, but you try to make it twist to the left or to the right each time. And that helps with focusing on your left or right abs more, and not just your entire abs at once. So it makes it a bit harder. And then the side plank, just do what that lady's doing. You can also do it on your elbow if it's too hard on your arm to hold up that high. It's still about the same, just a little easier. And then change sides via the standard plank position. So don't just lie down and then readjust yourself and change. You want to go down to a normal plank and then switch over to the other side. So that's it for those ones. And then there was a video here, but I can still just explain it, because ab crunches are probably the hardest to do right. I don't know, do we have time for a small video? Don't have to watch the whole thing.
James Rizzo, and I'm going to introduce you to how to do a proper crunch. What we're going to start with is our hands behind our head. We're going to lie back with our legs 90-degree angle, okay? Flat on the floor, okay? Not a lot of movement, but very effective. So I'm going to put my hands lightly on the back of my head so I'm not pulling on my neck when I come up. And I want to exhale. Hold that position for about a 1 or 2 counts. Lower back down to the floor. Okay? Once again, don't stay long at the floor. Come right back up to that position and exhale. So exhale as you start to come up, holding that crunch for about a 1 or 2 counts. Come back down. Like I said, don't rest the floor. That way you keep the resistance on that abdominal.
Yeah. So the most important thing to realize from that is he's just resting his head. He's not pushing on his head. He's not using his head to pull himself up. His head's just at a standstill. And his lower back never leaves the ground. It's just a tighten in his upper abdomens. So only like his shoulders and chest area are actually leaving the ground. But he's really muscular, so he can do that. But I know I barely leave the ground at all. Like, the most important part is just tightening the upper abs and holding them like he is. It doesn't matter how much you move. You want to raise as high as you can, but don't worry about it if you can't go that high. So those are the ab crunches. And then Mason twists, you just sit on your rear like that guy. Try to keep your legs up and your back up for as long as you can. Your feet might try to catch you a bit, but if they do, try to raise them again. And then you just twist the ball, touch the ground on each side. And that's it for that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the ab exercise. So do it all again, I said, if you're really focusing on abs. But you definitely don't have to. And then end with a 40-second or 60-second plank if you did extra before. Not as long as you want, because this plank shouldn't be to complete tap out, because it's just kind of a cool down from the abs, and this planks feel so great once you're done. So yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So now we're on to the upper body section. So this time we're doing 15-second rest between each set. And it took a lot of creativity to come up with these because they're all body weight. And the upper body, you use a lot of weights. So the easiest one is push-ups. That's the obvious one. You can do them on your knees, both knees. Try to do one set of 12. You can do them on one knee. So that's like 3/4 of your body weight. And then on the toes would be the ideal, or the hardest, or one arm too, if you're really hardcore. But they should all be, you should be done by the end 12 comes up. So not able to do another one. That's what you're aiming for. So then a side plank with the arm raise this time. So it's just a side plank again, but you raise up your outside arm to the sky and then put it back down and then raise it again. And that will be an arm raise. So that's about it for that. Next slide. And tricep dips. Any kind of chair or surface you can put your hands on, and you just go down until your arms are at that 90-degree angle like you see there. If you go past that, that's going to probably damage your shoulders or arms. So just try to keep that steady form. And then I came up with air punches. So you just try to punch really fast like you're punching a karate bag or something. If you have a punching bag, that's even better. But the idea is just to do it fast and no amount of time, but you just do it for 20 seconds as fast as you can. So next. And then mountain climbers, you might think it's more of a leg workout, but Apparently, it's really good for the upper body too. So you just go to one leg in front and one leg straight behind, and then you just swap legs, which one is in front and behind, and that can be with a step up, and then a step back. That can be you jump a bit and you move them both at once, so you're doing it really fast. Whatever you can do for 20 sets for 2 sets of 20, and then opposite arm and leg extensions. We call it the Superman. It's good if you do this one fast. That's when the sweat and the workout comes in. You just put one leg back and then the opposite side arm up, and then you put it down and then do the opposite side. So that's it for those. And then I couldn't find a good picture of this because it's pretty unique. It's something we didn't track. When I say stationary running, I don't mean like standing in spot and running with your legs too. This is upper body, so I mean just your arms. You're only moving your arms, and you could be sitting down, you could be standing up, balanced. But you're going to notice if you move them fast enough, you're going to start shifting side to side, and that's the idea. So, and then I think this is the end. One more set of push-ups. That guy's doing it hardcore with one arm. So whatever you're comfortable with. So now the last workout part, the legs.
Sorry, I like the picture of the chicken legs there, Matthew.
Is the next slide? Did you see the next slide? There. Okay. So we start with the side plank, and this time it's pretty cool because it's the same position, but we do 3 different things with it. So the first one was just staying and just holding it. And this time, instead of raising our arm, we're going to raise our leg. And this is a really cool workout, especially if you're doing it for the first time. It feels weird. Those are muscles you usually don't use. So it's great to practice. And you'll probably see improvements in different parts of sports. And then ski jumps over object. Right, so there's going to be an object in the middle. You start on one side of it, and then you're going to jump over that object. Doesn't matter how high the object is, as long as there's something there. You're going to jump over it, and then you're going to go down into a push-up position as fast as you can. And then as fast as you can push up, or you can just kind of do a lazy push-up. What really matters is getting into that position, and then coming back up as fast as you can. And then you jump the other side, and then you do the same thing. And you do that 12 times for 2 sets. That's a really exhausting one. So now running lines, that just means you have one end of a hallway, and then one end you start on. You run to that side. Usually you just touch the line and then run back. But for this, I said go down to your stomach for each time instead of just touching the line, which it'll work out your legs a lot more with the getting up. And it's especially difficult for large people like me getting up fast. That's one of the things I struggle most with. So I'll be focusing on that part. And then single leg bounds. Bounds are pretty difficult. They can be really energy consuming. You're kind of hopping with one leg, like skipping just on one leg without using the other, and your leg that isn't jumping is swinging forward to push you forward, and so are your arms too. So it's okay if you can't do this one. It's pretty advanced for like vertical training, but it's really effective for getting that jump leg going. And you kind of just keep doing that until you get to using the same lines we did for running. And you keep doing that until you get to the line, and then turn around and do the other way. That's it for that. Squat jumps pretty straightforward. You go down to a squat far enough that you touch the ground with your hand, and then you go up in the squat fast, and you do a small jump. Doesn't have to be a big jump, as long as you're leaving the ground, and then you go down and do it again. And that is really exhausting on the quads once you do it long enough. And hopefully by the time you're done that, you won't be able to do another one. And then I said this one is optional because some people have knee problems, but full depth squats are great for building that last bit of strength for the going far down. It's probably the thing that weightlifters work on most, powerlifters. It's probably the most important part of jumping high. But it's easy to fall backwards because you're going down so far. So what I like to do is I hold a heavy object out in front of me to balance myself. And that also gets the abs in there too, because it tightens the abs, so you feel in there. And then fast calf raises, you just raise your onto the balls of your feet, like your toes, and you just do it up and down really fast. And you'll notice very fast that your calves are going to get really sore, and eventually you won't be able to do anymore. So I say 50 because just how fast it is, or until you physically can't do anymore. So like your calves have said, no, you can't do another one. So next slide. And then finally the cool down, 25 to 30 seconds for each stretch. So we start with the side arm stretch. This one's mostly on the shoulder. Just bring your arm across and then hold it there with the other arm. Back arm stretch. Hold the top of your elbow and reach as far down on your back as you can. That's about it for those. And then hands behind head. So kind of like you're relaxing, but you're not at all because your arms are pushing as far out back as they can, and you should feel that mostly in the shoulders and maybe a bit in the arms, chest and the back. And it should be difficult to hold. It shouldn't hurt though, and it should be a relief once you stop. And then sitting toe touches, you just sit down with your legs as straight as possible and reach for your toes. I can't touch my toes. I just reach for my calf really. That's good enough as long as the stretch is there. Quad stretch. Just you can use a chair to balance like that lady's doing. Just lift your leg up. And I'm not too sure. She's probably doing it better. Her leg is straight down, but she's not quite touching her butt with her foot. I usually do it, so I am. But it is more of a stretch the straighter your leg is. So, yeah, and then you hold that and then switch legs. And then the calf stretch. This one, most important part is that your back leg, not your front leg can do whatever it wants. It's just for balance and support. The most important part is that the back leg is facing straight, the same way your body's facing. If it's not, then you're going to stretch your calf in a weird way. You might hurt yourself. You don't need to use the wall, but I guess that would help. The only place you should feel this is in your calf. Yeah, and it can be painful easily, but try to find that perfect spot where you can feel it well and it doesn't hurt. I think that's it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Hands off, Matthew. That was an incredible presentation. Oh my, have you gone through that whole workout and given it a try?
I didn't have time. I really wanted to though.
Yeah, I'm going to because I really like what you did. And I think, often it's hard to find pictures and words that go together and are clear. And you did a really good job on that. So I'm going to do the workout and I'll report back to you. So challenge everybody else out there to give it a try as well. Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic.
Great job.
So in it, like as you said, these are some of the health initiatives that our athletes are getting involved in and giving us some information on, which is fantastic, super, super valuable stuff. There's lots of other health initiatives as well. I encourage you all to go to the Special Olympics BC calendar. Go to the website, go to the calendar, scroll down. You're going to see lots of different health initiatives, health education sessions. There's information about dates, when you can register for them, everything from talking about relationships to women's health, lots of different topics. So go to the website, check it out. Check out these kinds of things that great athletes like Matthew are doing. So thank you so much. And I think my calves are tired from envisioning 50 calf raises, but I'm going to give it a go. All right. Okay. So Megan, go back to you because I think we've got a trivia answer coming up too, don't we?
We do. And so shout out to Christine from Langley, who knew the answer is Carl Valentine is the Whitecaps FC and Vancouver 86ers all-time leader in matches played. So way to go, Christine, and runner-up to Rosemary watching from Duncan. So thank you very much, guys, for your answers. And lots of shout-outs to Matthew for the great presentation. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Definitely. Huge thank you to you, Matthew. With your permission, we'll share the presentation that you put together on the SOBC website after, so that people can watch it and learn from that. So look for that, everybody, on the SOBC website on the Athlete Health Resources page. We'll put that up with credit to Matthew for creating this great resource. So yeah, again, lots of shout outs to you, Matthew. So fantastic job. Thank you so much for all these great insights.
Okay. So trivia number 4, Marinka, you ready? We got a question, one more question to ask here.
How many times have BC Lions won the Grey Cup?
Okay, do you want to say that one more time? I think there's a little bit of feedback there. Try that one more time so everybody can hear you.
How many have BC Lions won the Grey Cup?
Okay, all right, and Megan will post that in the chat there so everybody can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to have a few more roundtable questions because these are interesting people we have here tonight. Sorry, did someone else say something? Nope. Just I'm hearing things in my head. That's okay. It happens. All right. So a few more questions here. First question is, why do you like being involved in Special Olympics? How about Randy? We start with you. I think you talked about that a little bit, but can you find a little tidbit that you want to add to that?
Again, I'm just going to go back to the sense of accomplishment and pride. I have 2 daughters that helped coach the Alpine ski team here for a while, and I still remember them coming back and talking not only about the competition but about the support, and it's just it's something that all of us can learn from in terms of the way that we should go towards life is that competition is great, but supporting everyone as they strive to do their best. It really stands out in Special Olympics.
Yeah, I agree. That philosophy of doing your best, if we take that back into our lives, we're better people for it, for sure. So how about you, Marinka? Why do you like being involved in Special Olympics?
Because you get to go traveling to like compete and friends.
Yeah, so and sorry, did you say friends there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time, huh? You make a lot of friends, for sure. And how about you, Matthew? Why do you like being involved?
Probably the sportsmanship. And out of any sports I've ever done, Special O is by far the most friendly to anyone who joins. I used to be worried that I'm too young with a bunch of adults, but that's not at all. They're excited when young people join. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And I would agree with you. I think I really enjoy as a coach, not only young athletes joining, but young coaches too. It's huge benefit to our organization. So I'm really glad Matthew came to the organization when you did. So Special Olympics is better. BC is better with young people for sure. Okay, so now more of a current question. Just any ideas that you have used in your life in terms of how you have been staying positive during these unique times. What about you, Marinka? How have you been staying positive?
exercise,
Yeah.
stay happy.
So exercising and doing things that kind of help keep you healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting some extra effort into that. That's a great answer. I know I'm doing the same thing. How about you, Matthew?
Probably similar to Marinka. I've been making myself pretty busy with what I can, even though it's all modified. And I've just done a lot of soul searching, being with myself, and I feel like I've changed a lot since COVID started, and it's been a great self-reflection, good thinking time.
Yeah, that's a great answer, and I think a lot of people. I know I see Megan nodding. I'm nodding because that's been a big part of what I know I've done too. And you don't even sometimes even realize it, and then you realize how much time you've had to just kind of think and almost get to know yourself a bit better during COVID. So thanks for sharing that. That's really good to hear that that's been part of your experience too. And how about you, Randy? What have you been doing to stay positive?
Well, it's we're blessed to live in one of the most beautiful parts of the world, British Columbia, and so I encourage everyone, just get out and enjoy it. And in my work, I spend normally a lot of time traveling, but of course I haven't been doing any traveling, and I think I've probably forgotten how beautiful our home is, and so just getting out, fresh air, seeing all of British Columbia. There's so many different parts of British Columbia, so many different types, and then staying connected with people, even through calls like this, telephone, staying connected, and keep in mind that, as much as you like hearing other people's voice, they also like hearing your voice. And so, put the effort in both ways. It's a two-way communication, is a two-way benefit. And so it's a combination of getting out, getting fresh air, enjoying, this, the one impact that I've seen from this is I've just really forgotten how beautiful BC is, and it's a great spot. We're very fortunate here.
Yeah, we sure are. And the beautiful BC slogan that we've seen, have seen for years. I think a lot of us have been able to really experience that firsthand more. And, I look around the screen, we've got Quesnel, Prince George, myself here on the island, the Lower Mainland. We are all for some pretty stunning places. And I bet you there's some people making comments too there, Megan, about things that they're doing to stay positive. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, that's right. So Jake, so to further reach around the province, Jake from Trail chatting with Sebastian. I think that's Sebastian from Golden. Am I right, Jake? So lots of great connections with between our athletes and our community members all over the province. So you're right. And Claire from Creston, staying active, going for walks, riding your bike, and talking to friends on the phone. So great. Like as you said, Randy, maintaining those connections has been so important. Lots of applause for your comments, Marinka. Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more with your insights. And I'm not sure if we want to get into this now, but we're still waiting. We're still on the hunt for a trivia.
Oh, yeah. Trivia question, right.
Yeah, we've gone all over the map with the BC Lions, but I'm looking for somewhere in the middle. So just think about
okay, well, can we put it out? Any guests know how many Grey Cups the BC Lions have won?
I know.
Okay, go ahead. Can Marinka? I think she's eligible. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Is it
how
6?
many, Marinka?
Is it 6?
Yes, it is 6. Well played. So we're very fortunate to have amazing support for the Sports Celebrities Festival from the Lions and the Whitecaps. They've been great partners and have sent many of their ambassadors to the event over the years. So shout out to our friends at the Canucks, the Lions, and the Whitecaps for all that they do to support and encourage their fellow athletes in Special Olympics. So great, thanks, Marinka. Way to crush that one. Oh, Jake said 18. That's a really high. That's the goal. That's the goal. We'll
get there. They'll get there. They're on the way.
Yeah. And then another activity suggestion, Carrie from Oceanside, rides her bike. Angela, if you're still with us, Angela was asking for tips for those who she has arthritis, and so. Ange, I would encourage you to reach out to Marlo DePaul in our office, mdepaul@specialolympics.bc.ca. I'll send you a note after too and post on Facebook, but so that you guys can connect about different workout tips that can be modified for you. For those, I know there's lots of people who really enjoyed Matthew's workout presentation and lots of great comments on how everybody's going to be using those. But if anybody needs some workout suggestions that are modified for their individual circumstances, I saw 1 or 2 comments in the chat about that. I will post Marlo's email in the chat so that you can reach out to her with discussion of some modifications for your interest. Okay, so sorry, Jean, I'll pass that back to you there.
No, that's all good. We're good. Those are good tips. And I know I liked some of the modifications that Matthew mentioned, some of the things, ideas of doing push-ups on your knees and such. But yeah, people are looking for more ideas. Absolutely reach out. And there's always ways to modify pretty much anything, because you want to challenge yourself, not try and do what perhaps somebody else can do it, because it's all about improving your own performance, not comparing yourself to someone else. So good questions to put out on that. Okay, so our final sports celebrity trivia question number 5. I'm going to turn it over to co-host Marinka to ask this one.
Which Special Olympics BC athlete was last inducted into SOBC Hall of Fame?
Excellent. Good question. So the first question way back at the beginning was, who was the very first athlete? And this question, who was the most recent one? The last one to be inducted. Okay, we'll put that out to the masses and see what they have to say. Okay, so we're getting close to wrapping up, but we got a few more things we want to share with you in answers to some of the questions that you have been asking us. And of course, a big thing on everybody's mind right now is return to sport. And as you've heard, Matthew and Marinka have started different programs. And so across the province, we are slowly and safely returning to sport. And the only way we're doing that successfully is because of all of our athletes, our coaches, our volunteers, our family supporters are really taking our protocols as part of our return to sport plan seriously. So the biggest reason for our success is due to all of you and how well we are all working together to make this work. So right now we have some sports that are what we call level 1, and those sports basically are able to be offered in any local that has access to facilities and capacity. So if just a sport is at level 1, it doesn't necessarily mean that your local is able to offer it. So there's lots of different reasons for that. But right now we've got a bunch of sports at a lot of sports at level 1, and you can look up more information on the website. And then we have other groups of sports, pretty much most of our sports, that have what it's called the pilot stage. And at a pilot stage, we have a few locals trying out a sport that we haven't really started too much yet, just to try it out and make sure the protocols work. We can get their feedback, make any adjustments if we need to, and then we can start to look at moving that sport into level 1. So right now, most of our sports, except a couple of spring sports, are now in either the pilot stage or level 1. So keep an eye out, and as locals are able to find places to run their sports, there's probably going to be a sport coming near you. In addition to that, we're continually offering virtual programs. So keep an eye on the website. So if you're wanting to get involved in Special Olympics right now, there are lots of ways to do that. So as I said, website, social media, follow all of that, and you'll be dialed in for sure. Okay, so another common question we get, and you're hearing from your locals, is about registration. So even if you haven't heard that there's a sport happening in your local right now, and your local is asking you to register, still, if you're interested, put in your registration, because getting that paperwork out of the way, believe me, is a good idea. And that way your local knows, they have your current contact info, and they know that you're interested in coming back if a sport starts again. So the way you do that is you get in touch with your local, and they can let you know what forms you need to fill out, who you need to send them to, and give you all of that information. But just like you heard earlier, the programs right now, even if there is a program, they're smaller. So sometimes they can't fit in all of the athletes. You have to be physically distanced, and there's different rules. But we are so proud, and personally, I'm not surprised, because I know our athletes and coaches are amazing, but everybody is just making it work. And Matthew, I think like you said, you went there, it was different, but it all worked out. And Marinka shared her coaches are still pushing her just as hard. So there's no slacking off in return to sport. So encourage you all to get in touch with your local and let them know that you're interested in coming back. And as I mentioned, lots going on. So go to the website, and just a couple of things that you can look at. Our monthly challenges that Marla DePaul puts together. This month is called Non-Stop November. In other words, might be getting darker earlier, daylight coming in, but no stop November. So there's no excuses. And now you have an extra workout, thanks to Matthew, that you can do inside your living room, anywhere. So no excuses to not stop in November for sure. And we will be having, there's more coach training, virtual training, coach webinars. Again, all those dates on the website, I'm sorry. So one thing I mentioned earlier in the very beginning, and I said something about someone having a 40th birthday party this month, Special Olympics BC. You guys are all part of that. So we are going to be having a birthday party on November 24th. So it'll be, we'll be having a celebration, a virtual dance party. So details coming out, but that's another date to put on your calendar. So November 10th, Sports Celebrity Festival, 7 p.m. November 24th, birthday party, time to be announced. So watch for details. Okay, so there's a couple dates to make sure you put on there. All right, so I'm just going to go back to Megan before we start to wrap things up here for the evening for any final comments. And I think we have one more trivia answer. See if anybody got it.
We do. A number of people got that correct answer. But shout out to Rosemary, who said it first. Matthew Williams from Langley was the athlete who has been most recently inducted into the Special Olympics BC Hall of Fame. Matt is the medalist in speed skating at the 2017 Special Olympics World Winter Games. He competed in basketball at the 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games. He's also been the Global Athlete Congress chair and a member of the Special Olympics International Board of Directors. So an amazing athlete leader, an amazing athlete who's very dedicated to his training, and an amazing person. So shout outs to Christine and Roy, who also shared that answer. So thank you guys very much. A few questions that did come up, some individuals who are saying they're not comfortable returning to sports right now because of different own personal reasons and comfort or health, and that's completely understandable. No one has to return to sport right now. It's an option that is there for the many people who are interested in coming back and for whom, coming back is an important part of their health and activity, but it is not mandatory. It's not expected. It's entirely based on what is comfortable for you. But we have worked hard to have strong, comprehensive safety protocols in place so that everybody who is coming back is in a safe environment. As Jean said, athletes and coaches around the province are working super hard to follow all those safety protocols. All the family members and program safety volunteers have been doing an incredible job as well. So we really appreciate how careful everyone has been adhering to the safety protocols, as they are so important, and everybody's ongoing attention to that is so important. So we thank you all so much. Carrie from Oceanside was asking about, it's been a difficult time in BC with COVID numbers rising recently, and overall in the province. Will there be any stopping of sports? And I think that, Carrie, it's important to know that Special Olympics BC is very carefully monitoring the provincial health context always. We're keeping a very careful eye on everything that's been happening, all the guidance from our provincial health officer, and we will continue to keep following everything very closely. At this time, we have strong safety protocols that we know that athletes and coaches and volunteers and families are all following, these protocols have been well regarded by the provincial sport and health authorities. So we know these are strong policies, and if everybody continues to follow them, we will have safe environments for our programs for athletes and coaches and volunteers to participate. So it's very important to us that we continue monitoring all the best practices and guidance coming out. So, and Matthew from Delta asked about what about summer games? So as everybody knows, unfortunately, we had to cancel the 2021 Special Olympics BC Summer Games, as you can't have large mass gatherings in that time frame. And so it is unfortunate, but Jean is our amazing staff lead for competition, and Jean has been looking at lots of different ways to for us to be able to pursue competitions in different formats and the virtual competitions that she and Matthew and others undertook recently is an important first step in that. So yes, Matthew, we are looking at alternatives, and so please do stay tuned, and please do everybody keep training and keep up your hard work in your sports, because it is so important to stay fit and stay keeping up with your important achievements that you've all reached. So keep it up. We're going to still be here in varying and interesting and new and different ways, and we'll keep making sure there's opportunities for you guys to compete. So I think that sort of catches us up on comments, but again, thanks so much to everybody who's been chatting and sharing all of your insights.
Yeah, this is a great crew tonight. I'm super impressed with everybody's comments and questions and just support for each other. And I think, you know, that kind of lends itself as we're now getting ready to wrap up. And, you know, I think you've heard the word thank you a lot during this show and on everything we do right now. And usually, you know, we usually have the words huge in capital bold letters before when we say thank you, but it just can't be expressed enough. And it's, you know, for everything you're doing, as everybody shared in helping us return safely to sport, but even more than that, for everything you're doing to support each other. And, you know, the support that comes from athletes and coaches and volunteers in these shows, and not just directed to people they know, but directed to the entire Special Olympics community. And it means so much to all of us, staff as well. We are so empowered to do what we do because of all of you, and we're just so grateful. So huge thank you for being here tonight, but more so just for everything you're doing, both for yourselves and your community, your friends, your family, and this entire Special Olympics BC to help us all move forward in a strong, safe, and positive way together. You are truly, truly amazing. So again, there's lots of information we've shared tonight. You hopefully you'll all go to the website and look things up you want to get involved in. But of course, the imminent piece to get involved in is the Sports Celebrity Festival. And you can go directly there through our website or through the website. Remember, I told you I could remember this, scfgala.com. So easy one to remember. So go check that out and make sure to tune in next Tuesday, November 10th. So, and again, this show would not have happened without my co-host, Marinka, and all our amazing guests tonight, as well as our technical guru, Megan. So thank you to everybody. And as we sign off, you've heard my voice a lot, but I think we'd rather hear some of their thoughts as we finish up tonight. So a final roundtable question for all of our guests. What final words of encouragement would you share with other athletes? And how about we start with you, Matthew?
Probably that you can do anything that you think you can do. So like if you're disheartened that like maybe you haven't been as active as you want in the past or recent past, or you made goals that you didn't meet, it's not worth beating yourself up over and discouraging yourself to do it next time.
Absolutely.
There's always room for improvement, and you can always get there no matter how hard you've tried in the past, no matter how it's worked out.
Those are beautiful words of encouragement. I think we can all learn a lot, and that's something that sometimes we forget to give ourselves a break, and that we can try again. We can continually improve. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Marinka, how about my co-host? Do you have any final words of encouragement for everyone? You've done a great job tonight, Marinka.
Stay positive and active and have fun.
Yes, have fun. You got it. You got it. I know it's like we talk a lot about being healthy, and that's super important in being active. But while we're doing that, we definitely want to keep having fun. That's what one does, having fun in life is super, super important. And Randy, how about you? Any final words for our audience tonight?
Well, this is my first time on this show, and I have to say I'm very impressed at the number of people that have signed on and commented and contributed. You know, it's not just the 5 of us; it's everyone that's made this a success. And so, if you've got friends that aren't on the show, you know, that haven't dialed in and haven't contributed, make sure that they catch the next show. And then, in case, you know, we do have a little celebration next year or next Tuesday. Nugget. And there's a whole bunch of other really good things in the online auction. It's an important event for Special Olympics, so please tell all your friends to check out the website and join us for the show next Tuesday. I look forward to seeing everyone there.
Thank you so much for making that possible for us. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. And just a reminder, we do this every month. So, and again, I've given you a couple dates to put on your calendar. So the next Special Olympics Super Live will be, I hate to say this month out loud, but it'll be December 2nd, Wednesday, December 2nd. So let us know what you think about this evening time slot compared to the earlier time in the day, either in the chat or flip us an email, let us know. And then we'll make sure you know what time that next Super Live is on December 2nd. So thank you all. And Megan, do you have any final comments to sign us off before we sign off tonight?
No, that's great. Thanks, everybody, so much. Great job, Jean. Great job, Marinka, Matthew, Randy. Thank you all so much. Thanks for our wonderful audience members and to everybody who contributed tonight. You're awesome. So I will sign us off here. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care.
Good night, everyone.